meat in the bag. We got a former Memphis commit. Mikey Williams has committed to UCF. The former star recruit, whose college career has stalled in the wake of a March arrest, has committed to UCF after announcing his exit from Memphis earlier this week. So basically, they have the transfer portal when it comes to college sports. They're going
crazy with the transfer portal.
If you are dissatisfied at all with your school, you basically have now the freedom to go in the portal and go to any other university that will accept you. Mikey Williams was going to go to Memphis, but
Penny Hardaway said, you can come back, we're going to bench you. So, basically with this whole situation, Mikey Williams went through his whole legal situations with the gun situation. They gave him probation, community service, and anger management. It's crazy how Memphis was sticking behind him because a lot of teams wouldn't have stuck behind him.
But, they kind of didn't stick behind him because at the end of the day, they basically said, if you come here, that we know you got punished by going to court and all that, but we're going to punish you here at the school that you probably wouldn't even see the court. We would redshirt you, and then you're probably going to come off the bench your sophomore season. And this guy's trying to go pro. He's one of the high school phenoms.
Yeah, Drake in the shows, Quavo.
He's been playing with Bronny James, so LeBron knows who this kid is. LeBron actually got him on Bronny's team, and Bronny wasn't the best player. When it came down to go time, to nut up or shut up time, they were putting the ball in Mikey Williams' hands. He's probably like one of the best prospects out of high school since like a Zion Williamson. That's how much hype he had with his high school mixtapes, almost like a Brandon Jennings. But his career kind of got derailed.
Doesn't he have a studio?
Derailed early. Supposedly he already had all kinds of NIL deals where he's already making all kinds of money before ever even playing his first game of college basketball. But since he found out Memphis was going to sit him for a year and a half, 2 years, he changed schools where he could start and play every day. And who knows, he might be a one and done. UCF is a D1 school, so if he plays well and puts up big numbers, he will still probably be a first-round draft pick.
True. USC is in, I think they're in the Big 12.
UCF?
Yeah, UCF is in the Big 12. With them, he also went there because his friend J.J. Taylor, because J.J. Taylor also got suspended indefinitely from Memphis. I guess he wasn't following the rules. There's a lot more information coming out about that. But with this situation, I agree with Mikey. If the Memphis team, if he wasn't gonna play this year, because Memphis is balling out right now, they're like 16-2. They rank like number 10 in college basketball. So you're not gonna play with them. Then next year come, you may be suspended. So you probably wasn't gonna play till like the end of your sophomore year, junior year. Go to UFC, but
that's unacceptable, man.
True.
So they basically, we were talking about that they supported him. They truly didn't. They basically set it up to make him leave, without making him leave.
Basically, and then with the whole thing, they said when you transfer, when you transfer, you basically forfeit the whole year. But I guess you can also try to request to get away so you can play that year. So I'm guessing UFC probably told him like, oh yeah, we can probably get you. UCF told them that we could probably get you waived so you can play this year. Right now, they kind of decent. I think they 10-5. Yeah, they 10-5 right now, and they 10-5, and they in the Big 12.
They're in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a respectable.
They was in the AAC with Memphis, but so they're in the Big 12. So we're gonna see how that goes. I don't know. They got a couple games coming up. It can go either way.
I'm going to be excited to see what Mikey Williams' career brings to it. He was definitely a high school phenom. He was even more hyped than Bronny James.
They're trying to compare him to Iman Bates, dude, from they got drafted
Bates.
They got drafted. They had trouble in high school with the gun situation.
And he dropped to like the second round.
Yeah,
instead of being a top 15 pick.
And now he's like in G League. But yeah, right now, what's today? Today is January the 15th, 16th.
16th.
They got different play Texas. They got Texas on the 17th, Houston, West Virginia, Cincinnati, Baylor, Oklahoma, Texas. They go all the way to TCU in March 9th. So he can play any of those games if he go lucky his way. The way I'm guessing the reason why he went to UCF is because they're gonna find a way to let him play.
And what's crazy is he could almost have like a redshirt year if he gets there late. And their season's almost over, he might choose not to play and then just be a starter whole next year.
Does that mess up your draft stock?
But the thing is he's trying to be a one and done.
It's probably too late for that.
Because I don't know if he I don't know, because it's like I've seen players that did that, like Mitchell Robinson from the Knicks.
Yeah.
he actually was committed to a university where his like uncle was the head coach at D1, and his like uncle got fired. So he's like, I'm not going there. And then he didn't get like on another team, so he just sat out a whole year.
Oh yeah, because you'd be like a year and something removed from high school.
Yeah, so he just sat out a year. He just worked out for a whole year. He didn't play college, G League, overseas, anything. And then the next year, he got drafted, and I think he was still like a first-round pick. He got picked by the Knicks. I don't remember his exact pick, but, it ended up working out for him where, he's a great player. He was playing really good this season until he got injured. So you could definitely do that. And who knows, Mikey Williams, if he gets a handful of games, he might do that and then go pro. People forget that's exactly what happened to Kyrie Irving. He was injured like before the season started for Duke, and I think he only played like the last 4 or 5 games of the season for Duke. And then he went pro. So sometimes they only need to see a glimpse. They need to see you against that level of competition and that you can handle your business. So, that might be all he needs. He might be like a Kyrie where he only plays 4 or 5 games. Man, it's special to watch people that have the ability like a Mikey Williams or like a Kyrie, and you're like, man, those guys are a little over 6 foot. But if they were like 6'5" or 6'8", they would be like, demigods.
True. I just hope he's just like this. I just hope he's more like John Morant on a court, like he is John Morant with these guns in his hand. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I could definitely see him falling. I mean, technically, he's already fallen into the John Morant trap.
True.
I don't understand. Like, basketball players, I know they have a lot of love for hip-hop, and they're, that all basketball players want to be rappers and all rappers want to be hoopers. But it's like, you can get the tattoos, you can do the look, but you don't have to actually do the street stuff. Just focus on your career and focus on you. You don't even need to mess with that stuff, especially if you're a phenom where LeBron James knows your freaking name. Come on, man. Like, you can't keep it together like a little bit. You got to have some self-respect for you and your family. So
I just hope when he comes to the NBA, he's good. He doesn't end up like a Quinn Cook. Well, hope he may end up like a Darren Williams.
Quinn Cook was all right. I mean, Darren Williams was like a whole mental case. Like, I remember for 7 or 8 years, it was a conversation on who was the best point guard in the league, Darren Williams or Chris Paul.
He was the truth.
And then Darren Williams had that whole breakup in Utah where like the coach quit and everyone got traded, and he ended up in Brooklyn where he played like decent, and then
was it Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett at that point in time? Was that the net team?
It was right before that or during it, yeah. It might have been right before. But yeah, he didn't do anything in Brooklyn. Like, he became a shell of himself, and he kind of bounced around and then was out the league. It was crazy. I ain't seen a fall off like that since staying near like Dwayne Wade.
What? He getting the whole statue.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
He bought rings.
I'm just saying where you're like you go from like a top 5 player to like out the league. Like Dwayne Wade was always a top 5. Beasley was never a top 5 player.
He was top 5 before he got drafted, and then
top 5. He was
like
supposed
to be up there with Kevin Garnett, Kevin Durant. I mean,
yeah, but he didn't pan out that way.
Whole mental case. He went whole Kevin Love on us, but Kevin Love got it together at the end.
What was I just talking about?
How he was a whole mental case.
Darren Williams.
Yeah, Darren Williams. How he basically how you went to the Nets, and then he basically how the coach got fired.
Yeah, he flamed out, man. That whole team got ruined, and he just got out.
Just lost after that.
Yeah, well, I was saying that's what kind of happened with Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was like a top 5 player most of his career, and it seemed like once Dwayne Wade hit his 30s, like his body just shut down. Because honestly, when the Heat won those championships, they lost the first one. He played good when they won the second one, and then they barely won the third one, and he honestly didn't play that well in that finals. And then the fourth finals that they were in with the Heat, he played absolute garbage, and he kind of bounced around the league from Chicago to Cleveland, and then he was gone after that. It was like, Dwayne Wade was kind of short for NBA for a shooting guard. He was 6'4", 6'3", 6'4" as a shooting guard. Most shooting guards are 6'5", 6'6", and above. So he was a little short, and it's like he used to have that like Derrick Rose lift where he could just like fast twitch muscles, Dwayne Wade.
Oh, Dwayne Wade, yeah.
And just jump with like a 45-inch vertical and yam on people. But it was like he went from like doing that one year to like his injuries catching up with him, where I feel like he had like a 20-inch vertical and couldn't dunk anymore. And like he had no lift in his legs and just a shell of himself. It was one of the quickest declines I've ever seen by an NBA superstar when it wasn't like a major injury. I know he had a handful of injuries, all kinds of injuries throughout his whole career that kind of took a toll on him, but he never like snapped his stuff like D Rose did, where he had to get his whole knee rebuilt.
Paul Pierce. Paul George,
or like a Gilbert Arenas.
Oh, horrible.
Or Paul George.
So, okay,
he never had a severe injury like that.
Before we move on to the next topic here, what would you rather? Would you rather be a decent high school basketball player with a fire mixtape, and a basketball mixtape, or a trash mixtape, but like you?
I mean, honestly, I'd want to be in the
Michael
pros,
Jordan.
so I wouldn't really care if I had like the hottest high school mixtape ever. Even I wouldn't really care about that. I know that was like a big thing with like Ball is Life and all those YouTube channels, but it's really not. I mean, it's still huge now, but I mean, there was nothing bigger than LaMelo Ball playing in high school. When he was doing the Ball is Life, and it was the Ball brothers with LiAngelo and
so is that the
Lonzo,
new thing now?
Like they freaking killed it. They built that big baller empire.
But didn't they shoot like a day in the life? Like you saw the whole getting ready.
Yeah, they had
everything?
a Facebook show. They had a reality show on Facebook.
So that's basically the new thing. Like
that was the only reason I had a Facebook.
You know what's
I had to like get on my old account and like set a new password and stuff because I ain't been in on years. That show was so freaking good. Like I love the Ball family show. I hope nothing for the best for all of them. I don't understand why LiAngelo Jello doesn't get a shot. He's a stocky dude, so he should be able to protect, play decent defense, and he can shoot lights out from three. No one wants to give him a chance.
I mean, you give Antetokounmpo family brothers and them a chance. You might as well give him a chance.
I don't understand. If I was LaMelo, I would have made that a part of my contract, like kind of like under the table deal,
like J.R. Smith did with his brother.
Yeah, J.R. Smith had them cut a dude that was decent to sign his brother who was trash, because he was like, y'all want me to get signed for this much money? Okay, I'll sign for like $5 million less than I wanted, but y'all gonna sign my brother to a $2 million deal. So if I ain't getting the money, my brother getting the money. So he made sure his brother got paid. That was like his Chris Smith. He's actually super hilarious. He's a good person, but he just wasn't that great at basketball.
Chris Smith?
Yeah, he played like 4 years. I forget where, but his stats weren't that great. He averaged like 7 points a game in college, or like 6 points and like a few assists, 4 or 5 assists. He was like a point guard. He was like a smaller version of JR. Like he couldn't do all those flashy dunks. He was like 6'3", 6'4", where JR was 6'6". But he was actually pretty cool, and I think that he kept J.R. Smith happy. And when he got his brother to sign, he won Sixth Man of the Year. So, sometimes you need that brother support.
Give you that support. But, I mean, comment below. Let us know how you feel about this whole Mikey Williams situation. Is going to UFC a bad look for him? Should he?
UCF.
I mean, what? I keep saying USC. I keep saying USC.
It's because you got Nick Young on the brain.
I got
thinking of the Trojans.
Bronny James.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Nick Young killed it at USC.
Lil Romeo killed it at USC.
No, he's a flop.
And DeMar DeRozan. There's a couple of people.
I heard he got that.
And Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson went to USC also.
Oh, shout out Taj Gibson for dunking on D Wade back in the day in the playoffs.
Disrespectful. Why did I
remember when he gave him the two-handed?
No, I don't remember anybody dunking on the guy Dwayne Wade. I'm from Miami.
I'm pretty sure he put his huevos.
I'm pretty sure we won the ring that year, so it don't matter.
Because you took out